Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm giggling because it has been quite some time since I made any kind of video um, and posted on social media, any kind of long form video. I've posted a few shorts recently of some of my travels, but it's been a while since I posted um, a long form video in real time. And I realized lately that I kind of miss making content. I miss making videos, and I'm kind of starting to challenge myself to do more of that because I feel like I have a lot of things that I want to share. Um, so I decided to post a video today, and quite frankly, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I had a few things in mind, but nothing felt super settled. But last night I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and it is hot out here, okay? It's toasty, but I love being out in the sun, so I'm gonna see how long I last, okay? This might not be super long. Anyway, last night I was having dinner, having brunch actually with a friend of mine, and we were sitting and talking, and she was asking me about my most recent experience on Broadway. So for those of you who don't know, I am an actor, a Broadway actor, an actor in TV and film, as well as a life coach and a globetrotter. And if you're subscribed to my page, you will see all of that kind of content. You will see encouraging life coaching content. I had, Fearless Fridays that I was doing for a couple of years. I've posted a lot of content from my performances, both singing and acting clips from, different shows that I've done over the years, over the course of my acting career. And then I've also posted a lot of travel content, and I haven't posted travel content in a while. But yeah, I've posted a lot of travel content. So if you're a subscriber on my page, you've seen all of that kind of stuff. If you're not a subscriber, check out my page and you'll see all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I was talking to a friend last night, and she asked me about my most recent experience on Broadway, which was last year, 2025. So last year I was in the Broadway cast of the revival of Gypsy, and I was the Mama Rose standby. And it was a huge job. It was a huge responsibility. It was a huge opportunity, with a lot of expectation around it, both from me and expectation from other people. And so she was asking me, she knows a little bit about my experience as a part of that show, and she was asking me, now that I am kind of removed from the experience, what my thoughts were. And we talked for a while about it, and I shared a lot of things, and so I decided that's what I'm going to share with y'all today, because I learned a lot of things that I think will help a lot of not only actors and people in the entertainment industry, but just people in general. I learned a lot of lessons that you can apply to your life in general. And so I want to share some of what I learned. So yeah, I was the Mama Rose standby in Gypsy on Broadway. If you are a person who follows Broadway, you know that there was a lot of energy, a lot of hype around that show. Mama Rose was played by none other than Audra McDonald, who is the most decorated person in Broadway history. Not the most decorated woman, not the most decorated black woman, not the most decorated black person, the most decorated person. She has 6 Tony wins, and I think 11 nominations. So she is what we would call, the GOAT, or one of the GOATs. And she is someone who I've admired for a long time. A lot of people have admired her. And so, she was playing the lead role of Mama Rose, and I was the standby for that character. And so, there comes a lot comes with that. A lot. A lot comes with that. A lot from yourself, a lot from other people, a lot from, the world. You have a kind of a magnifying glass on you, and sometimes you don't realize it, but you recognize that it's real. because if, as the standby, as the sole standby for most of the run, if she was not able to do the show, if she was ill or whatever, it fell on me. And that's a huge role. And there's so much attention around the whole situation that there are a lot of eyes and attention on me, essentially, when I'm called to go on. But I learned a lot of things. And I want to share a few of those things. I think the number one thing that I learned, one of the biggest lessons was, and I said this to my friend last night, snatch everybody off their pedestal. We all have people that we admire, that we look up to, not just in the entertainment industry, not just in the Broadway world, not just in the TV and film world, but just in life. We have people that we look up to, people who have done what we want to do or are doing what we want to do, people who have been where we want to be, people who do things so well that they can't help but command attention. And when that is the case, we admire people, we look up to people, we use people as examples, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it can be very easy to put people on pedestals. It can be very easy to put people in positions where, in our minds, they are not human. I'm gonna let that fire truck pass. This is in real time. I'm not making any cuts, okay? But yeah, it's easy for us to put people on pedestals and put them in positions where, in our minds, they are not human. And sometimes we do that knowingly. You'll hear people say, "Oh, that's my idol." Rude. So rude. LA is so rude. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, it's easy for us to say, and we hear people say often, "Oh, this person is my idol." And whenever I hear that, I take pause. I take pause because, one, I'm a Christian and we're not meant to have idols. So that's one. But two, when you put people in a space of idolization, when you put people up on a pedestal and you put them in a position where in your mind they're not human, what that means is they're not allowed to make mistakes. What that means is you don't see them as someone who you would give the same grace to as a human being. They're not allowed to make mistakes. They're not allowed to get sick. They're not allowed to have life or live life or to have a regular life, because in your mind you have put them in such a position where they are above you, where they are above others. And I think that's a dangerous thing to do, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how great someone is at what they do, they are still a human being. They are still a person with a life, with a family, with mistakes, with ideas, with troubles, with challenges that they go through every single day. And hear me when I say this. When I say this, I'm not talking about one specific person. I am just talking about, in general, we put people on pedestals and we make people idols. It is not safe for them, and it is not safe or wise for you. Because when we put people on pedestals, we put them in a position where, first of all, we put ourselves in a position where we don't expect much from ourselves, because we're looking at somebody else and we're saying, well, that's them, they can do that, I can't do that. So immediately you put yourself in a position where you don't even give yourself permission to achieve, because someone else is better in your mind. Someone else has more accolades, they have more talent, they have more skills, they have more gifts. And you immediately, when you do that, you diminish what God gave you. You also, and I've already said this, but you also don't leave space for a person to just be a human being. And that's not fair to them. It's not fair to them. So, and again, being in the entertainment industry, being an actor, having been on Broadway, having done TV and films, Sometimes people want to be on pedestals. Sometimes people want to be idolized. And sometimes that's why people get into this industry, because they're like, if I can just be good enough, if I can win enough awards, if I can have enough eyes on me, then finally I'll mean something. And so they want to be put on a pedestal. It's not a good place to be. It's not a good place to be for the person, and it's not good for you as a person to put someone else on a pedestal. It's dangerous. Again, it doesn't allow you space to find your own greatness, because you're already comparing it to someone else's greatness and thinking, oh, maybe I'll never get there, or I'm not that talented, I'm not that skilled. So it doesn't allow you space to be as great as God made you to be. So yeah, that would be the first lesson. Take people off pedestals. Nobody belongs there. Nobody should be an idol in your mind. Nobody belongs on a pedestal in your life. You don't belong on a pedestal. So if you're the one that you've put on a pedestal, honey, snatch yourself right on down. Snatch it. So that's the first lesson. The second lesson I will say is, it is important to learn that you are worth advocating for. Whether you're advocating for yourself or someone else is advocating for you. But specifically, when you're advocating for yourself, it is important to know that you have the right to advocate for yourself. You know, things happen, decisions are made, and sometimes in the midst of those decisions, you're not handled well. You're not handled properly. And there will be times where you'll kind of have to brush it off and kind of take it on the chin. And then there'll be other times where you don't brush it off, where you don't take it on the chin, where you say, no, I'm gonna speak up and I'm gonna say something. Whether or not you speaking up and saying something changes the outcome or not, you still have to be able to advocate for yourself. You have to be able to stand up for yourself and say, hey, wait a minute. I should be treated better than this. I should be handled better than this. That's important. That's important. Again, especially in the entertainment industry, because a lot of times we can be so desperate to succeed that we will do anything, that will take anything, that will brush anything off, even when we are not being handled properly, even when we are not being treated the way we ought to be treated, when our humanity is being denied, when our artistry is being denied, when our personhood is being dishonored. It's so important to learn to stand up for yourself. And in learning to do so, you'll make mistakes. You will maybe say something at the wrong time or say the wrong thing, but you'll learn. You'll learn how to do it. You'll learn when to do it. You'll learn who to talk to. You'll learn what to say. And you can't be afraid to do that, because the person who takes it on the chin always, at some point, you'll just become so run over that you will forget who you even are, you know? There's something that I used to say a long time ago, wow, and it just came to my mind. But people always talk about grace and giving people grace, and that's important. It's important to give people grace. Also, and you can't allow your giving of grace to turn you into a doormat. Giving grace does not mean lying down and taking whatever comes at you. That is not what that means. And in many parts of our lives, in many industries, you know, people will say, well, you got to learn how to, you know, rise through the ranks, and you got to learn, you know, how to be the underdog, or, you know, when you are on the lower end of the totem pole, some stuff you're just going to have to take, and you're just going to have to take it until you ascend. And there is some truth to sometimes having to deal with trudging through the muck to rise through the ranks of whatever industry you're trying to ascend. But again, you cannot allow grace, and you cannot allow the idea of trudging through the muck to get to the higher place. You can't allow those things to turn you into a doormat. You have to have a point of view about yourself. You have to have a point of view about the situation that you're in. And when you recognize, that, hey, I'm not being handled well, I'm not being handled properly, you might have to open your mouth. And that can be a scary thing, because we're often kind of bullied into silence and submission with the idea that, if you say something, if you speak out, if you're the squeaky wheel, then people won't like it. Let those people like whatever they want to like. Let those people dislike whatever they want to dislike. You have the right to advocate for yourself, and you have the right to stand up for yourself, and you have the right to speak out for yourself. And sometimes that will mean that things are taken. If you are advocating for yourself and something is taken from you because of that, it was not meant to be. And God is going to recover whatever is taken from you unfairly or unjustly. So that's the second lesson. Lesson number 3, and I think this is going to be the final one. I just completely lost my train of thought. Sometimes that happens. Okay, so lesson number 1 was snatch everybody off the pedestals. Lesson number 2 was learn to advocate for yourself. I'm gonna pause because it's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me. Oh.
A few moments later.
It came to me. I knew it would. Okay. Lesson number 3, and this is for my actors. This could be for so many people, but this is specifically for my actors. Learn how to sit in discomfort and not let it get you all over the place. On the outside looking in, people look at our industry, whether it's Broadway, whether it's TV, whether it's film, and people see the glitz and the glam. They see red carpets, they see Broadway openings, they see movie premieres, they see pilot episodes of television shows, they see awards, they see accolades, they see Hollywood Walk of Fame, Oscars, Tonys, Grammys, Emmys, all the things. They see women in beautiful dresses, men in amazing tuxedos. They see you getting your hair and your makeup done, but they don't see the moments that are just uncomfortable, the moments that are uncertain. And there are many. If you are an actor, you know there are a lot of moments of discomfort. I experienced a lot of moments of discomfort in this most recent Broadway contract. And there were things, going back to lesson number 2, there were moments where I did have to stand up for myself and I did have to speak up. And there were also many moments where I just had to sit in the discomfort. And it's hard. That is hard to do. But it is necessary to learn how to sit with the I don't know, how to sit with the why is this happening, how to sit with the wow, I'm just really uncomfortable right now, like I don't like this, and still continue to do what you need to do. You have to learn how to sit with the discomfort. Somebody's calling me and trying to interrupt my video. You have to learn how to sit with the discomfort of all of those things, because there will be many moments in your career that will be uncomfortable. And it may not always be a situation where something isn't going the way you thought it would go, or where something isn't going well. Anybody who's ever been on set for 12 hours a day knows that there's a lot of hurry up and wait. You're being called to set at a certain time, you're getting your hair and makeup done at a certain time, and then you're sitting in your trailer and you're waiting for them to come get you. And sometimes the wait is longer than it was supposed to be. Sometimes the wait is longer than you would like it to be. Sometimes it's just uncomfortable. And it's important to learn how to sit with discomfort and not let it dismantle you or destroy you. That's so important. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say about that specific point. I think it's pretty explanatory. So yeah, those are the lessons that I wanted to share. This is my second show on Broadway. My first show on Broadway was The Lion King. That show is still so close to my heart and probably always will be, because I did it for 10 years, 6 years on tour, 4 years on Broadway. So that was my first show on Broadway, and Gypsy, last year, 2025, was my second show on Broadway. And I'm sure there are more to come. I'm sure that's not my last time seeing a Broadway show or Broadway stage as a performer. And I said this to my friend last night, as uncomfortable as it was at times, as frustrating as it was at times, there were definitely high moments, because I played Mama Rose on Broadway. Only the second Black woman to play Mama Rose on Broadway, second to only Audra McDonald. Honey, that's a flex. That's a flex. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bask in that and in the sun. But there were high points, and so I have to remind myself not to let the frustrating moments overshadow the high points. But also, and this is what I was saying to my friend last night, there were lessons that I learned, these 3 that I just shared with you, but also so many others, so many lessons that I learned that could only have been learned in a situation that was not always enjoyable. Try to say that carefully. When everything is great, when you're being treated the way you should be treated, when everything's going well and you feel loved and you feel protected and you feel honored, you don't always learn in those situations. You learn when things are hard. You learn when things are frustrating. You learn when things don't seem fair. You learn when things aren't fair. That's when you learn. And so hopefully you take those lessons in those moments and you say, all right, I'm gonna put these lessons in my cap because I need them for whatever's coming. And that's what I always felt. I am being prepared for whatever is coming that's gonna be bigger and better than this. And so I have to make sure I take the lessons and learn them, and also take the wins, take the high points, and allow myself to enjoy those moments as well. So that's what I wanted to share with y'all today. Like I said, I am going to be making more videos, all different kinds of content, so come on back for more. My name is Tryphena Wade. I'm an actor, a life coach, and a globetrotter. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. So I hope that wherever you are in the world, whatever's happening in your life, I hope this video blessed you. I hope it touched you. I hope you learned something. If you did, put it in the comments. Let's have a little conversation. And I'll see you next time. Peace.